Welcome, everyone, to the newest chapter of Cradle of Caine, a Sabbat Vampire 5th Edition Chronicle. When we last left our pack, they had infiltrated the Eastern State Penitentiary and managed to complete their goal in claiming the coin of Carthage. Not only that, they caused all sorts of hell on the way out, including attempted diablerie of the warden of the Eastern State Pen. However, diablerie was out of the question, as some sort of failsafe backup, you're not entirely sure what, caused the warden's body to literally explode, almost taking the life of Adrestia. The escape was sloppy. It was messy and may have involved multiple police officers and a runaway bus. But they managed to escape. And now they lick their wounds, preparing themselves for the fallout and what lies forward. I would like my cast to introduce themselves.
My name is Rena, and I'll be playing as Adrestia, the Malkavian ex-sheriff of the Camarilla, now turned Sabbat.
And I am Prince, aka Doubles and Dice around the internet, and I am playing Amari Oringo, Sinisi and Ductus of this wonderful group.
Gabriel and Lily will be joining us at a, dare I say, dramatic moment. Their tale still yet to be told. We start with Adrestia. You are awakening in the old library, your haven. The fresh smell, well, the old, I should say, smell of books and mothballs are familiar to you. It's not as nice as some of your other holdings you had while you were in the Camarilla, but at least here you're safe. Are you alone in your haven?
Most likely, as I cannot or will not be able to let myself rest with people around.
Does anyone know about your haven? Does there anyone that exists in the world that knows its location?
There is one, a retainer of mine. He would occasionally come in just to check up on the state of the library. But as most of the time I am away, we rarely see each other.
Of course. And as you waken alone once more, your wounds healed over the 3-course days, you feel like you might be getting hungrier. Please give me a rouse check as you awaken from the night.
Wait, rouse check. And I failed that.
What hunger are you at? 3? Or
I'm
2?
at 4.
You awaken feeling very, very hungry. The beast is gnawing at its cage, ready to break out, if not temporarily. And as you wake up, you can feel your mind expand, the spider webs cracking around the library. Metaphysical, but still they're what you follow as you can see the kind of time splitting off, like there is a crossroad ahead of you. You had seen this really once before recently in the past few months, and that is when you left the Camarilla. It seems whatever path you're about to set on now will greatly adjust your course.
What does the crossroads look like to me?
As the kind of you're looking through and you're feeling the premonition overtake you suddenly, You get two distinct scenarios. You see Philadelphia in flames. There is bodies all over the street. You see decimated city blocks. You see overturned cars. And a reporter crying, madness in the streets. And on the other end, you see a quiet city. No one's walking the night. There's curfews in effect. Only the occasional patrol car hums through. And you're not sure what sounds worse to you, violence or stagnation.
In my long years of being alive here, or dare I say, barely living, stagnation is probably the worst thing. Because I'll end up like those fucks in the Camarilla. So if I have to take a path, that would be the one of chaos and violence. If Philadelphia has to burn for it, then fine.
And you walk out of your haven, heading toward through the postern, ready to exit into a world that you can make whatever you need it to be. Where are you heading?
I am probably heading towards Amari's boat. Yes, that has become our meeting place as of late. Of course, I'll make sure that there is nobody following me as I exit my library.
Go ahead, and as you exit the library, I want you to give me a wits plus awareness, please. Difficulty of 4.
I got a messy crit. That is a 7.
Awesome. As you round out and kind of turn down a street, you get the feeling that you're being watched, and you turn in time as someone launches themselves against you. You can hear the large kind of thud of an aluminum bat kind of smash into the sidewalk as it barely misses you, and you skid back, your hands and nails raking across the ground. Looking up, you see a familiar person. You see Ronnie.
Well, what brings the sheriff here tonight?
I warned you. I told you. I said if you do anything else, if you cause too much trouble, I was going to have to find you and I was going to have to put you down. I gave you that courtesy because we were friends. And look what you did. You ruined it. And you can see she kind of draws the bat again, letting it rake to the side. And she charges at you. What is your response?
Charges straight at me, huh?
Yep.
I am going to most likely... Is there a... What's that called? Any pole nearby me?
Yeah, there's probably the pole. Yeah, like a light, like a light
Light
street,
pole.
yeah, light pole.
A street
lamp.
pole. I'll probably grab it, rip it off.
Okay, go ahead and give me an strength plus melee.
Hell yeah, these are my strengths. Thank you. I get a 3.
Awesome. All right, she also gets a 3 as you kind of like, she goes and she swings with both hands, and you kind of leap, kind of barely missing the kneecaps getting struck in, and you swing the pole and she dodges under, missing the decapitation. And she kind of is growling. You could see she's moving at almost like an inhuman speed. And she kind of shakes her head. Addie, why did you do this? Of all the places, of all the things you could have done, you could have stayed low in the Sabbat. You could have did whatever you had to.
You think that they'll let somebody as old as me just stay quiet, lay low in the Sabbat? Come on, Ron. You know that better than me. Anybody with power, they'll use, abuse, until there's nothing left.
I guess that is it. And you can see as she shudders for a moment as several arms emerge from her back in the guise of darkness in attempt to wrap around you. Give me an athletics plus brawl.
Fucking that's soundless, I swear. Is it athletics and brawl, or?
Because she's attempting to grapple you. But you could also...
Can it be athletics and strength?
Sure.
Yes. That's a 4?
5, messy critical. You kind of dodge out, like, she kind of fakes, and then she, with one arm, kind of slams you against the wall, the brick wall, kind of bending into it, and then wraps one hand around your neck and another around your waist as she lifts you up, kind of tightening, dealing 1 bashing damage. And just very, like, this is more of, like, a stylistic thing. She's just, like, like, beating you against the wall. You can tell she is very much enraged right now. You don't understand. You never think about your actions. You only think about yourself.
Then help me understand.
Do you understand what you did by attacking the pen? You pissed off everyone. You pissed off the Hakata. The Primogen, he's he is. They're going to mark you for a full-on blood hunt. Don't you understand?
I'm surprised they didn't do that when I left.
Because I said I would take care of it.
Ron, I'm a dead man walking for a long, long time now. And the moment they find no use for you anymore, you're gonna be next in line with me.
I was enjoying retirement before you decided you needed to throw yourself a pity party and leave.
They killed him, okay? The only people that I care about. Somebody in the Camarilla decided that I don't need those attachments anymore. So I am not gonna go back there. I don't give a shit about this blood hunt. Just...
Do you think the Sabbat's any different? Do you think they give a shit about who you love or your loved ones or your families?
No, but at least they treat me like family. They don't treat me like a lap dog, where sometimes they get the longer leash, sometimes my leash is it's so short that I'm barely able to do anything.
At least in the Camarilla, the captors aren't trying to make you think they're your friends. At least you know what you're getting yourself into, and you know where they stand.
Do they? Because I've seen some of those fuckers pretend to be all sweet and nice and smile those fake smiles. But behind those smiles are those judging looks. Because what? Because I'm a Malkavian? Because I'm crazy?
You killed your own kind. Don't try to turn this into a clan thing, a bloodline thing, because it's not. What it is that you're about to start a war. You're already starting a war, and people are going to die. Lots of people died. Alright? People I cared about died the last time the Sabbat and the Camarilla fought.
This war has been in the making for a long time, way before Miron. You should know that. This temporary peace it's not true peace. One way or another, there's gonna be another war, another kind of uprising, somebody wanting to declare praxis. It's just an endless cycle. And what happened is that I'm just part of the beginning of one.
Well, when Damascus comes to your head, don't say I didn't warn you. I was sent to try and kill the traitor Adrestia. And you can see the arms tighten for a second, like they're trying to choke you out, and then they drop as she drops you. And I've tried. Get out of town, Addie. The hunt's upon you. And she kind of like turns to walk away.
Thanks, Ron. Oh boy. And I probably pass by a tree away from anybody's line of sight and obfuscate and head towards Amari's boat.
And you look behind you and you see the kind of like damage from your fight. You know, a caved in wall here, a ripped off like street lamp there. It's always very messy when Canaanites go out. But you manage with pretty much other ease to get to the boat. Are you stopping for a drink on your way there?
I'm probably gonna be stalking some poor neonate who's out partying as for some reason a lot of neonates love to party, just testing out their abilities, you know. And as one is feeding, I probably look for an alleyway where one is feeding on a human and ambush them with a stake.
Do you drain them dry? Is the intention?
No.
Maybe it's because you're angry. Maybe it's because you just had a very intense conversation with someone you regarded as a friend once. But you're a little bit more messier this time around. And although you don't kill the newborn, you definitely know that they're going to need a couple weeks before they're getting up from that.
I don't really care.
And I think we're going to switch over to in the kind of moments leading up before Addie gets to your boat. Things are quite peaceful on the yacht. Not saying that there isn't a party going on, but there's no problems. Your security hasn't relayed to you anything. And you kind of expected that there would be more fallout. You thought maybe the Camarilla would be at your boat at this point. But there doesn't seem to be any repercussions for what happened.
Yeah, I'm definitely wondering why. It seems weird to me. And so I'm definitely on edge. Not because I don't think I can defend myself against it, but whenever the Camarilla has not done anything, I always feel like they're planning.
Yeah, and
I don't know what the plan is right now. That worries me.
And that's when one of your security guards comes in. Sir, we just got some news. Do you remember how you were asking us to look into the whereabouts of Jenkins?
Of course.
And you remembering to the audience, Jenkins was the police contact that Amari had that was feeling a little squirrelish since there was a internal affairs coming down the department. We just got word why you didn't see him, and he kind of throws like a folder, or not throw, he would have more respect on that. He puts the folder gingerly on the desk, opening it for you, and you can see photos taken from what seemed to be the site of an arson. You had been hearing about it, building set on fire recently in the past, every couple of days in the past couple of weeks. But here you can see a very nice, like, kind of an apartment on top of a laundromat. They're, explaining it as a possible gas leak maybe, but here you can see that the apartment is pretty much burnt to a crisp. You can see coroners, ambulances around the area, police officers, like it just happened. And particularly one of the photos, you're not sure how your men got them, but they show two bodies being carted out. One being what looks to be the charred remains of someone wearing very much close to like a detective's uniform, and you can see the badge that reads Jenkins on the chest, partially covered in soot.
Well, shit.
What makes you more concerned is the second body, though, which seems to have rapidly decomposed, where half of it kind of resembles a partially charred corpse. The other half looks like it's been just reduced to dust.
So hard to find good help these days. Even harder to keep them around. This one will be hard to replace. Any news on who might have committed this arson? Any leads?
Apparently the apartment was a a known member, owned by a known member of the Anarch Commons. A gentleman known as Elias, who is I'm assuming to be the one you see in the photo as the second body.
Someone to burn up anarchs. And got hit in the crossfire. Is that what we're suggesting?
I believe so, although I'm not sure how the politics work, sir, but why would Jenkins be in the home of another Canaanite?
That's a phenomenal question, and one that I want to get to the bottom of.
What should we
We
do?
might need our old sheriff for this one, because I want to investigate this. I don't take losing one of my most loyal contacts in stride. Some things, a ghoul here or there, these things happen. But, police contact is hard to cultivate.
As you wish, sir. We'll get to work on possibly securing another contact.
Find Addie. Bring her here. Now.
And Addie, when you enter the boat, do you do your usual obfuscate?
I'm probably just casually walking in, taking one of my favorite seats, waiting for Amari to finish talking to people. I don't know. That's how he usually is, talking a lot.
I feel like you the security guard opens the door and goes to head out, and you see as the door kind of swings shut and then stops at the last moment.
And I imagine Amari doesn't usually do this in front of the help, so he's waiting. And as they're leaving, you just see the fingers grow into claws and then just scratch across the desk, and it cracks a little bit, just in anger. And just...
Something got to you, dear Ductus?
It will never not be unsettling.
I'm gonna drop the obfuscate.
You're like Candyman. I call and then you're here.
Candyman? Like
really
somebody
need to
giving out candy?
Update yourself on pop culture.
It changes so fast that I don't really see the point.
You look messy.
Just got out of a fight with our dear sheriff. Current sheriff. Ron found me.
Love
She-
this quarrel.
No. No. She wanted to kill me because apparently there is a bloodhound out for me. But for some reason, once again, she has allowed me to live. Probably sentimental value, or whatever the thing is.
She's
I don't
a treacherous
understand.
bitch, and we should kill her.
Or try to bring her back to the Sabbat. You know that she used to be part of.
I know. I am well aware of what she used to be. I don't know who swayed her or what blood bond she might be under. We can't afford to have her in our business or trying to kill you.
That is true.
But apparently we have bigger issues. A piddling sheriff is annoying, but one that we can handle. There seems to be some issues with anarchs being torched and my best police contact being taken out in the crossfire. And my best police contact happened to be with an anarch.
Your contact was with an anarch.
Yes.
Do you think he blabbed about us?
Not willingly.
Camarilla and Anarchs always have had this feud, but they've had this sort of cross, what's the word? Truce the past few decades.
Well, I have an idea on that. You know, if you're under a blood hunt, maybe we should cause a little bit more chaos. You know, if the anarchs just so happened to, I don't know, blow up a Camarilla stronghold, leave some evidence of their meddling, maybe that'll distract. Maybe Ronnie will be a little busy and put off sorts.
And it'll divide the Camarilla troops as well. Yes, we can definitely do that.
I thought you'd find that agreeable. You're the war monger here. You tell me how you'd best like to approach this.
Who in the Camarilla do you want to give a vacation?
I mean, you have a relationship with Ruby, yes? Two birds, one stone.
Are we going for Ruby? Or we go straight to the Seneschal? Or one of the Primogens? It has to be somebody incredibly important for the Camarilla to actually send their sheriff to investigate it.
If we go for the Seneschal, put that on the Anarchs. That could be interesting. I like this. I like that a lot, actually. I can go with Ruby. That's always a dance that I like to play with.
I can easily just lure Ruby in somewhere in your own terms. Play around with her.
Okay. So we go after Freeman. Who do we frame?
Who in the Anarchs have a grudge against Freeman? Do I know that, Nick?
So, you would generally know that the way that the Anarchs are made, they're very much like a DIY culture. They have this kind of like almost like a socialist kind of group where there's one baron and everyone just kind of works for themselves, kind of works to provide to the whole. So it's really hard to kind of settle personal grudges with the Anarchs because they're all like, we're all together, but obviously, you know that the Seneschal is very essential into deciding the territory disputes and kind of keeping them out. In terms of who you could talk to, I mean, you could go to Moses. That would be going straight to the top. But the person that you would know that probably would deal with the Camarilla the most is Sapphire Lamont.
Who's the noisiest, the most talkative, and the most outspoken in the Anarchs.
Ooh, that would definitely be Rush Moskowitz, also known as the Molotov. Very much the freedom, the we are rebellion force behind the Anarchs. In terms of the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Amari. How about the Molotov?
Seems reasonable. Loud, dangerous, likely to take being framed and take it personally, and likely to
Incite others into chaos.
exactly.
Do you have a map?
Of course, I have a map. What kind
We
of
just-
2-bit organization do we think we run here?
You can also just pull it up on the internet. Just say, and at that point you hear a knock at your door.
What?
We received communication. Someone's trying to talk to you. It was relayed with the message, this is the only way I can talk to you because I can't use phones. A Mr. Perez.
God damn it. Okay. What is it?
And you see like a beeper sitting in the kind of security's hand in a box, and they kind of push the box towards you and quickly leave.
For the love of Caine. Why doesn't he just send paper? I take it out and I look at it.
It just says, "Where's meeting location?" Question mark.
For the barons, for the possible leaders.
Any of them can't cross open water because I have a place.
Should be fine. Angelica Inn.
Do you really want to hold it here?
Absolutely not. We're going to Jersey.
Fair.
So is the intention to hold it in another location outside of the city, or are you wanting to take the boat out into other waters?
I want to hold it in a location outside of the city. I want to take the boat, across Delaware into open ocean to draw the attention off of me and do something low key in Jersey.
You just rent out a conference room. Then Deets will get set up.
Yeah, and I start getting my people to put it together. Incredibly, like, I'm warning everyone, if this gets out to anybody, I will kill every single one of them. They will get made into the worst things they could possibly imagine.
They understand and they nod profusely.
Don't film me. It's not a joke.
There seems to be like a tension that's now drawing across the staff of the boat. They've seen you request stuff like this in the past, but probably not with this much gravity to your voice. Of course, sir. Utmost secrecy. And they all leave.
You know, after we had the old sect war, yada yada yada, I thought, maybe we could bring us back. But then I got kind of used to the life of luxury, Addie, and it was nice. But now we're back in it. I'll be honest with you. I fucking love this. As stressful as it can be, I love the intrigue. I love the danger. I've never felt more alive.
Yes, I completely understand that. The chaos, fighting, blood. I am incredibly excited towards this whole beginning of a cycle.
Let's go fuck some shit up.
Let's.
And now I think it's time for us to move to another point of view. Evelyn, you're standing outside the familiar yet unfamiliar location of Kingsman Books, right? Or am I getting that wrong? Arthur, what's the official name of your...
King's Highway.
King's Highway Books. You've heard of this place, but you never really have been here. You might have seen it kind of passing through Kensington, but you generally try to steer clear of this area due to the crime rate and everything. But it's surprising to see such a place be kind of like here. It's definitely stands out. The nice kind of, you see the barred windows but the nice like rustic door, and you can kind of hear the flickering of lamplight from inside. The smell of mahogany and books. It's definitely something that kind of makes a weird comparison to the general stinkiness and city smell of ozone, seeing how it's freshly rained from the outside. Who would know that a vampire lives here?
Standard vampire, maybe not, but Arthur? Yeah, this makes sense.
And as you walk in, the familiar, like the ding of the bell rings, and you see a gentleman you've never seen before. Not Arthur. You see Quinn's a little more taller and broader. Definitely has the bodyguard kind of a look to him as he kind of looks up and goes, "Cheers. What can I do for you?"
Hi, I was looking for the proprietor, Arthur. I'm a friend.
He eyes you up and down before kind of like nodding like he just understands. And he kind of walks to the back room, banging on the door like his two knuckles, each heavy thud just reverberating against the wood, like he doesn't quite know his own strength. "Mr. Harris?
Yes?
You got visitors."
No. Jolly be. And Arthur will sort of stand, he's not changed this evening, can't be bothered really. So he's just in his sort of long coat, a scarf wrapped around his neck, even though he doesn't really feel the cold. He just finds it novel. And he walks over to the door and opens it. "Ah, Evelyn. Pleasure. Thank you, Quinn. Do come in." And he sort of ushers you into the office, closes the door. "Well, welcome."
Thanks. It's coming together pretty nicely, huh? How's the move been?
Oh, it's fine. It's all coming along, I assume. Quinn's handling most of it.
And you can see on the side there are a boxes and moving boxes that have been piled high for the eye to see, almost dangerously so. Like a swift breeze could easily upset their equilibrium and cause the whole thing to come tattering down. But Quinn looks very very proud of himself as he eyes the kind of leaning tower.
Some good stacking skills.
Yes. Let's just say that Quinn here was a master of Tetris back in his day.
If I do say so myself.
Beat my high score once or twice. Now, I understand that we're probably going to be a bit busy over the next few days, but the reason I've invited you here is to ensure that you know, should you need it, you have a place to come other than your apartment or the boat should things get a little raucous in there.
Oh, yeah, no, that's, thanks, Arthur, that's nice of you.
You're most welcome. There is also another thing. As I'll be moving shortly, there are a few items in my collection that I think perhaps you would benefit from. And perhaps we might be looking to downsize this current collection before we move on to something a little more suiting the modern standard. So, to that end, please feel free to peruse, and should you see anything that takes your fancy, you're more than welcome to it. The special collection is in the back. And he sort of nods.
I see. Anything in particular you think I should be looking for, or?
I think perhaps you should be looking out for a particular author. His name is Johnston, Michael Johnston, and he, like so many others of our kind, interacts with media in an interesting manner, managing to put across truths about undeath in a way that mortals would never detect. It's one of your clan, actually.
Oh.
We have a few of his volumes back there, and I think perhaps you could gain some valuable expertise from him.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't think I've read anything other than a Kindle in a good few years, but might be nice to have an actual book in my apartment, I guess. Thanks, Arthur.
You're most welcome.
Kind of just sort of move away from the door and head in the direction I've been pointed in.
Arthur, can you describe the cramped interiors of the back rooms of the bookshop?
Yeah, so everything in this shop is kind of a mixture of different passageways that all seem to converge in ways that normally wouldn't make a lot of sense. It's kind of like walking into a maze made entirely of paper and wood. And as you sort of walk through, you kind of get the sense that maybe as you keep going, the passageways narrow further and further until it reaches almost a claustrophobic level before opening out into another passageway. And that goes on for quite a while. Out front, it's slightly easier to navigate. There's maybe one or two such confusing aisles, but back here, there's no such illusion. Everything is built to almost be not inescapable, but very difficult to escape quickly. And they sort of lean in slightly over top. There's sort of this musty smell of age. But everything's extremely well documented, and even sort of the boxes that have been stacked up by Quinn are extremely well labeled. And everything is arranged due to the Dewey Decimal System, of course, because that is the best thing mankind has pretty much ever created in Arthur's eyes.
And even more so as you're kind of going in, you hear a book fall from behind you off one of the shelves.
For a minute, I am genuinely concerned that I knocked it, and I spin quickly to check that it wasn't me before going to pick it up.
It definitely wasn't you. From the sound of it and from the looks of where it landed, it looks like it's been violently ejected from its box.
Okay. Little bit weird, but I've been around weirder, I guess, so I'll stoop down to pick it up.
And as you do, the book flutters open and begins to pages and pages and pages and pages begin to fly before it lands on a really horrific black and white pencil drawing of some sort of massive creature looking to be like almost like a phantom.
Oh boy, this isn't good, is it? Instead of picking up the book, I sit cross-legged in front of it and sort of just peer at it, like trying to figure out what it is I'm looking at exactly.
From the looks of it, you could see the massive black shade is standing over a like it's almost like a drawing of like someone sleeping in a bed. Looks to be very old, probably like circa like 16th, 17th century. Doesn't really have a date on it. I guess it's showing the nightly visitation of like maybe a demon or a ghost of something like that manner.
I kind of like tentatively reach out just to lift the front cover so I can peer behind it and see which book this is, like the title and author.
This book would just would be titled I'm trying to think of something that's not like very generic and it would be Tales from the Under.
Under.
And like you're just kind of like flipping through the pages and stuff like that. Even then you could feel the idea that there is some heavy presence around you, feeling very much like the penitentiary.
Well, I instinctively don't like that, but I'm also kind of like not keen to immediately give it direct attention. So I'm going to sort of stay looking at the book, but I'm very much flicking my eyes around between pages and trying to just catch a glimpse of something.
Arthur, does your little friend ever manifest other than just moving stuff and occasionally doing intimidation tactics?
Very rarely in full apparition form. Arthur has kind of worked with Friend for a little bit now, and he gets the feeling that perhaps he's forgotten how in some way, or what they used to look like, enough to manifest in any sort of tangible sense. But sometimes you'll get that odd feeling, perhaps when you look directly into the corner of your eye in your periphery, you see something that could be a figure, except it's a couple of feet too tall, and its limbs are a couple of feet too long. And perhaps there's too few more joints than there really should be.
And you see this kind of long-limbed silhouette at the end of the back of the hallway to the back room, and it peers for you just for a second in your peripheral vision before quickly slinking back.
I scoop up the book from the floor and turn back to the room Arthur was in, like power walking. I'm not going to run, but I am moving quickly. Like push open the door quickly and look around, and assuming Arthur is still in that room making his little notes at his desk or whatever it is he does, I'm just going to walk over and drop the book onto the desk in front of him and go, you have a friend in there, huh?
Oh, yes. Capital F friend.
Capital F friend? What is?
Well, I don't know their name.
What does the F? What does the F just stand for? Friend? Have you Frank? Fucker? Like what?
Could be either of those two. We're not sure.
Yeah,
Frankly,
you think like he's lurking.
Oh, don't worry. They do nothing particularly interesting. They just kind of mope around. Sometimes they throw things.
Yeah, he had a book recommendation. I'm just going to tap on the table with my index finger.
He doesn't pay rent, Quinn says from the corner.
Neither do you, dear.
So it's F for freeloader.
Yes, perhaps. Something of the sort. Although, once again, we can't be sure of their credit history, can we? And he sort of begins to flick through the book. Huh.
It
That's
flicked
a new
open to
one.
this page. I'm just going to literally like jam my hand in the way of Arthur looking and flip it back open to the illustration.
That's a new one.
He communicate with you like this often? Like book recommendations? You got a little book club going on back there? Does you want me to join? Because I don't think I want to.
I mean, you could. We don't have t-shirts yet, though.
Oh, good. I dread to think what kind of t-shirt I'd end up wearing if you'd already decided on that. The illustration, what, this familiar to you? Because, I mean, to me, it's just giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, heebie-jeebies is probably the correct reaction, but let me have a look. And he sort of reaches over to the side of his desk, pulls on 2 sort of gloves, gets sort of his more delicate instruments out, and begins to sort of analyze the page in a bit more depth.
Yeah, and it's your... Go ahead and give me a intelligence plus academics.
Can I assist with that roll at all?
Yeah, if you want to, you can definitely do so. If you want to like peer over and be like,
Okay.
Thank you, Evelyn. Yeah, that's 3 successes then.
and you can add your specialization for occult history if you'd like as well.
Ooh, my lucky day. It's like Christmas for vampires. That is 4.
Christmas for nerd vampires.
Christmas for nerd vampires, absolutely.
Awesome. And Evan, what did you roll?
Did you take a bonus for my help?
I did, yes. So
yeah,
Evelyn
I
was
did.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, you're peering through, and this is just really like an old tome of like kind of like urban legends and like ghost stories, essentially. Like, you would give these you would read these to children to kind of teach certain morals, certain, almost like an Aesop's fable kind of deal. But being a little bit older, they don't hold back on the kind of gruesome detail. You know, fear is good is what you get the mindset of all of that. And particularly the story in general is talking about a phantom that comes and feeds on dreams and visits. Sort of like an incubus, but without all the kind of icky stuff. More straightforward, turn dreams into nightmares sort of deal. Looking like sort of like an allegory probably for depression or some other mental health issue, most likely that they didn't understand, to explain why certain people went through certain funks.
Well, you're more than welcome to take it if it calls to you. I'm sure you can find something in there worth learning.
As long as you are referring to me taking the book, that's cool. I will leave your friend with you so you can have book club.
I'm not sure they can leave, to be honest. Although we are still working on the current theory of whether they'll come with us or not when we move. Current answer points to yes. It's like stepping in something and it not leaving your shoe, you know?
Have you asked it?
I haven't.
Oh.
But that's because usually talking directly to them is a bad idea.
Oh, really?
You can talk at them, for sure.
Okay, so I have watched some like TV shows and things about ghost hunting. You know they do all that like 1 knock for yes and 2 knocks for no. Maybe they really like throwing books. Maybe we could just say throw 1 book for yes and 2 for no.
We could certainly give it a shot.
Evelyn just like nonchalantly gets up from the desk and strides over, opens the door, and just calls into the room. Hey, you gonna stay? Throw 1 book if yes.
Silence.
Okay. Throw 2 if no.
You watch as not 2 books, but the entire box kind of spills over, and you hear Quinn go, what the fuck?
I slam the door shut really quickly, turn back to the room, press my back against it, and go, "It's fine."
Good work. I mean, there's always something a little satisfactory in test and hypothesis, isn't there? Yes.
I mean, that's the basis of science, right? I'm basically a scientist right now, and I found you an answer, so you're welcome.
Exactly. All that is needed now is a lab coat, and I'm sure you'd rock it.
Yeah, there you go. Book club t-shirt. Get me a science lab coat. I can science with ghosts or something. I'm really sorry. You spent ages stacking those books, huh?
I'm gonna, about 3 seconds, I'm gonna tell that specter in there to piss off.
I'm not sure they speak our language, darling, but you can try.
They speak book. Maybe you could write "piss off" on a paper airplane and throw it in there.
Probably.
Quinn
Anyway,
just silently sieves and goes cleaning.
Evelyn just walks back over to the desk and sits down.
Oh, what fun. Okay. Have you heard anything more about our adventures, by the way, from the penitentiary? It's all been oddly quiet on my end.
Well... Oh, I was hearing some rumors in the club about, like, some drugs and stuff. That seemed pretty dodgy. The other two got really riled up about that, actually. They didn't seem too pleased about that one. And some nightclub in the area that they weren't too happy to hear about either. At first, I thought it was kind of just funny, because it's just competition, right? Like, nobody wants to hear about that. Like, you're running a really cool nightclub, you have loads of people around, it's a classy joint, everyone loves it, somebody else opens up and nobody turns up, bad juju. So I, was just talking about it because I thought it was funny, honestly. But, yeah. Addie and Amari didn't like that one. It was, Club Lilith? Club Lilith. They got a bit fed up about that one. Wanted to do some research or something. It all sounded a little bit hairy, so I thought I'd get out of the way. That's why I was glad you invited me.
Club Lilith. Bloody hell. We are not subtle, are we? Well, that's fun. Okay. This drug thing you were hearing about. Circle back to that? What was that about?
Oh, yeah, it was called something, really... I remember the name had something to do with blood, which obviously sounded shady as hell right to begin with. There were a couple of people using in the bathroom. At first, I kind of thought I'd go keep an eye, because you never know when you can manipulate a drug addict. But it sort of didn't look fun, honestly. Like, it seemed like a bad time. They were injecting something, looked a little, blood-ish, blood-adjacent. And yeah, they were talking about there was someone trading out somewhere local. I told Amari and Addie about that one too. They seemed less bothered by that than the club, honestly, though.
Yes. Right. So, thing number one for you is probably important to know. Lilith is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, they mentioned something about that. They said something about, like, heresy and Caine is actually daddy and all that kind of shit.
Yes. If you imagine Caine as vampire daddy, yes. And Lilith is kind of like the riled up stepmom,
Oh.
Of that going on. Yes. It's all a lot of sort of custody disputes and sort of megalomaniac nonsense happening throughout the centuries. So they're kind of spitballed into some sort of ridiculous blood-fueled power play, but really, what in this life doesn't?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so they probably want to go in there and, fuck everything up in that club to make it more difficult for the followers of Lilith to get a foothold in this city. Because, well, let's just say that those who follow Lilith and those who follow Caine, well, we tend to not get along particularly well, to the point where usually if you meet a follower of Lilith, they will probably try and exact their vengeance upon you in quite a brutal manner.
Oh. They sound fun.
Oh, they are. If your fun is kind of, a little more stabbing and screaming and running away and stuff.
I mean, to be fair, from what I've seen with you guys, that kind of is our fun as well.
Yeah, well, that's more just sort of a consequence of everyday life, if I'm honest. Or unlife,
okay.
whatever the case may be. But yes.
So are you more worried about this drug thing then? Like, what's your take on all of this? I do what I'm told. Apparently. Now.
You do, yeah. Very good at it as well. The drug thing doesn't particularly bother me in such a way. In my opinion, the mortals can get high on whatever the fuck they want. Frankly, it makes it more interesting for me when I have to feed. However, these specific lubrications of the system are a little more directly related to us, and these seem to be created by the Duskborn. I don't know if you've heard of those.
The what now?
The Thin Bloods, my dear.
Okay.
They are, charitably, the weakest among us. They are born of the weakest blood of Caine, and therefore they are more the bastard child of the family than anything special particularly, but they are conniving, and there are a lot of them. They have managed over the years to research, and much like my clan has managed to unlock certain secrets of the blood and how to use it to enact magical effects, they are managing to do something akin to it.
And we don't, like, have any of them? Like, we've got your clan, obviously. Like, why don't we have any of them?
Well, it depends who you talk to. We can indeed have them. Most of them don't like that, though. Most of them don't want to be around us. And many of them don't get a choice.
And this particular group, like, what are you thinking? Do we just leave them alone? We've been trying to talk about how we keep the cam distracted for a little while, right? Like, is this part of that equation, do you think?
I think it might be. So the Camarilla, they much like many of our kind, do not appreciate the Thin Bloods being around. Specifically, they see them as a sign of the end of times, blah, 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 all that stuff. It's all very dramatic. Either way, they have a vested interest in hunting them down and either killing them or, branding them, enslaving them, bringing them on board and making them do our dirty work. So that's always fun. But they very much don't like them just sort of hanging out and living their own lives, if you catch my drift. So if we can perhaps seed into the Camarilla that there are these thin blood rogues running around all over the place, infecting their beautiful city, then I think perhaps they will see that as the bigger problem.
Get word to the right people, and they sort themselves out, right?
Exactly. And this works especially well, given that I have heard through a very reputable source that my clan in this city is struggling a little bit at the moment within the Camarilla. Terribly sad, terribly sad. They're all kind of, clutching for some purpose that they haven't yet attained. And due to that, I reckon they'd very much like to get in good with the prince by stamping out a few Thin Bloods.
That would be helpful.
Mm-hmm. It really would, wouldn't it? Which would also make it quite handy for me, as those specific thaumaturgists would be out on the streets and perhaps a little less protected than they have been.
Haha. And you need them for something too, or?
Always. What is a life if not for learning?
I mean, I can think of a few things that are fun about it, but I take your point.
Yes. So, that is a potential thing. Where did you say this dealer was?
They were talking about No, I don't quite remember. Storyteller, I'm not certain if you told me.
No, so they weren't able to give you. They told you, like, around the area, like they told you around Kensington, but they didn't like. They didn't give you a name. They just give you the only thing that you know is that the drug's name was Blood Plus.
Okay, so given potentially what I know about the areas, could I make a guess at some of the likely locations I might find that kind of thing around?
There is a very kind of famous like street in Kensington, just like an area where all the kind of addicts kind of link up. So that might be if they're introducing it to a mass load of people in order to kind of bomb the streets with it, most likely that would be a great place to start. And something, Arthur, that also would be a little bit concerning to you is Miles is not reported in for the night.
Yes. Well, I think I might know someone who can help us a little bit in that respect. Bear with shortly. And Arthur will make a call to Miles.
Rings once, twice, thrice, and then abruptly goes to voicemail.
He does know I can see it when he does that, right? People are stupid. Alright, whatever. Well, I'll deal with that later. There's a potential, though. You mentioned meeting one of the Camerlin members, didn't you, at one point?
Yeah, new sheriff, Ronnie.
Ronnie, right. Where was she?
Biker bar that Amari took me to. I could take you there if you think it would be worth going. I remember the place.
Yes, I think that might be our best bet, actually. Because if we can send her on the scent of these thin bloods, that might be quids in.
Is that risky, given all the stuff at the pen? Like,
almost definitely. But luckily, you see, we don't really have to go ourselves.
What are you proposing?
I'm proposing that we recruit some friends.
Oh, what kind of friends? I like making friends.
Good. Now, you can really do this one of two ways. How persuasive can you be? I'm guessing quite.
I'm definitely not bad with, words and wiles.
Good. So all I'm saying is perhaps if we nip to that area, make a specific friend, and send them in with a message for this Ronnie individual, then they can pass it on and we need never set foot in the building.
I see. Yeah, that could work.
Mm-hmm. Let's see who we can find, I suppose.
It would be a little less conspicuous if we could find someone who's likely to go in anyway. But that's more for the benefit of everyone else present than Ronnie necessarily.
Quinn kind of looks over to you. Should I lock the shop up, sir?
I think that would be wise.
Finishing work early to come drinking with me. I'm going to be a bad influence. You better not tell Amari on me.
Oh, I think I might just have to. I'm thinking it might be a point of group safety, Evelyn.
Oh, come on. Live a little.
Oh, maybe just this once. Our little secret. And we will leave the shop.
All right. So you're leaving the shop and you are heading to the biker bar.
Indeed. How far away is it from Kensington?
Ooh, that particular biker bar, that's in South Philly, so that's a little bit of probably like a 20-minute drive.
Sweet. That's fine. Get an Uber.
Yeah, if you're taking the expressway and stuff like that. So yeah, you get the Uber. The disgruntled Uber driver pulls up and brings you towards the bar.
As we are pulling up outside, I'm immediately like scanning to see if there's anybody that I might be able to catch up with before they make it to the door.
Oh, there are a ton of people, cause like it's sort of like like an open bar. When you were there last time, so like it's got the kind of like open ports that leads directly into it, and they just basically put whenever they close, you just assume they pull the shutters down. So there are plenty of people just standing outside, like on the kind of front area.
Cool. Okay. Arthur, I think I might be able to swing this as an excusable. If you can keep the car for a second, we could make this a real quick drive-by thing.
Of course. You mentioned meeting the two friends you got this information from in the bathroom, correct? Did you happen to get any of what they were sampling?
Yeah, I got a leftover thing, so it was like smudges on the inside of it, not a full dose or anything like that. But I left it with Amari and Addie.
Fair enough, we can pick it up later. No worries.
Okay. Evelyn is going to just slide out of the car and head towards the building.
And tell the Uber driver to keep the car running, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, you pull up. There's like the heavy, thick kind of scent of smoke and alcohol. Everyone's drinking. You can go ahead and give me a wits plus investigation. Or wits plus awareness. Apologies.
Okay. That is 2 successes.
Awesome. You're peering around.
Oh, sorry, it was a crit as well, so that's counts as 3, doesn't it? Both 2 10s on non-hunger dice, so is that 3 successes? Yeah.
So you're looking around and you don't see you don't see Ronnie right away. She's not in her usual spot. There's not any hint, and I mean she's pretty noticeable. She's got the kind of like short red hair that's pretty much easy to pick out over a sea of brown. But her absence is definitely noticeably felt as you see the seat that she usually takes is just completely left open. Not even more so it's left open. It's like people aren't naturally they're not even trying to go near it.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the bar and catch the attention of the barman.
And the barman kind of like hushes you for a moment as he goes and gets like a couple beers for some of the other people, and then a few minutes later he comes around. What can I get you?
I'm not staying. I was supposed to be meeting a friend, but it doesn't look like they've turned up. Would you mind giving them a message for me? If they come in tonight.
I mean, sure. What was their name?
Ronnie? Red hair.
Ronnie.
Uh-huh.
You're friends with Ronnie?
I know of them. I was maybe going to get to know them better. Why?
Oh. Okay, well, Ronnie's not going to be in tonight.
Oh, how come?
She's handling business, work.
Oh. You know any way I could get a hold of her? Do you know where she is?
Unfortunately I don't. And even if I did, I'm really not, like, at liberty to say.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna flick on awe and just let the smile curl a little bit deeper into the corner of my mouth.
And you can tell his like eyes rest over, kind of trying to take in every bit of you as he can't look away. And for a second he almost like his spirit finally breaks, and he's like, I seriously don't know where she's at. I just know she said she had to go visit an old friend.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know what that means. Look, can I leave a note behind the bar for her in the meantime? When she comes back in, maybe not tonight, maybe
anything.
tomorrow. Thank you. Have you got a napkin, pen?
Yeah, he pulls out a little, like, the marker.
You're a good one. So I'm going to scroll a message onto this napkin. For a moment, though, I need to think about it. What I want to say is... First thing going through my mind is that I need to be a little bit careful about not being too obvious, because, you know, I don't know how seriously this bartender's going to take the not his business thing. So I'm going to write problems with traders, entrepreneurs. Let's say entrepreneurs, with dusk time entrepreneurs. Building business. Building business. I know it's technically not true, but I feel like being dramatic might help, so I'm going to say everywhere. Everywhere.
You make
Problems with dusk time entrepreneurs, building business everywhere. That'll do. And then I'm going to draw a little doodle of a sun setting. And a syringe.
Okay, you set your little coded cipher down and pass it. He picks it up, doesn't even bother to read it. He just can't look away and go and kind of tucks it underneath the bar. Would you like a drink on the house?
You're very kind, but no, I really can't stay. Maybe next time I will. Thanks for looking after that message for me. And just hop down off the stool, give him a little wink and walk out. Like, the minute I turn my head as well, like, I drop all and just stride for the door. Like,
you can see he's kind of like blinks out of it, like, what just happened. He wasn't really sure, and kind of continues about his day. And so you start to head out of the bar. But before you feel someone grab your hand.
oh. I'm going to look down at my hand and then up at the person who's grabbed it.
You could see what looks to be an individual, kind of looking like your typical, like, you know, biker's got the riding jacket on, everything. Bandana, he has a cigarette, kind of lit in his other hand. But he looks zombied out.
Can I help you?
Yes. And as he kind of speaks in, like, almost like non-emotional, and perhaps, and goes, I can help you. You're not talking to me right now. This is not... Listen very carefully. I'm speaking through this person, and I can only have delivered too much of a message.
Okay.
We've been watching you. My name is Gustav, and I'm a servant of the Black Widow.
The Black Widow?
You would know them as Angelica.
Oh, yeah, I do know that name.
You've been looking to contact her.
Uh-huh.
We've been watching you for a very, very long time, since your initial birth.
My initial birth? Like, in England?
Cemetery.
Oh, that one. Got you. Okay.
And we understand and been watching your pact. You've been all the rage, as it were.
We are kind of cool, yeah. But, so, you... Where are you?
That doesn't matter. Keep looking at me. You wouldn't be able to tell where I was anyway. I come bearing a message from the lady.
Mm-hmm.
We've studied your group, and we've come to an understanding that you are the most level-headed out of all of them. The most trustworthy, as it were, to make rational decisions.
Yeah, I think that's true.
You kind of think back to, like, the rest of them, and you're like, yeah, like, kind of images of the chaos they've sown across the past, like, week or so.
I'm just really enjoying this. The first time in my life somebody said that about me. I'm flattered. Yeah. Yeah, I am pretty good, aren't I? You're right. Mm-hmm.
We are on the same side. That of the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And this offer I would not extend to others, and I would appreciate that if you were to keep this offer to yourself. But
Okay.
what I can offer you that your ductus and your pact and your priest cannot offer is power. Power only a formidable and notable lord of the Sabbat could. I understand that you have been visited by some of the others, most likely that of the braggart, Simon.
Yeah, it's been some real Ghost of Christmas Past shit.
I can ensure that that won't happen again. There are certain benefits that I can offer to those who willingly employ themselves in my service. A new haven of your own, a way to refine your position within the sword's grasp.
And what are you expecting in return?
Information. Eyes. I understand that you are going to be gathering all of the Sabbat lords into one place in order to come to an understanding. I also know that the idea is to reform and to elect a new archbishop, is it not?
It is.
And in order to do so, you would need a page from the Book of Nod, would you not?
I would.
That I can provide for you. And as you can understand, I'm a little bit more careful, more constructed, more refined than my other compatriots. Dimitri is blinded by loyalty, Simon is blinded by rage, and Viper is blinded by their own agenda. Clearly, I'm the only one that has the true best interests of the Sabbat in mind. And this is not a brag, this is not a self-indulgent defying of humbleness, this is just reality. The others they're not good leaders. They are good members, they are good hunters, they are good beasts. But kings and queens they are not. Not only would I grant you a page of the book in order to herald in a new archbishop, I merely require that you support my claim in this endeavor.
Tell me, if Simon is blinded by rage, Viper by their own agenda, and Dimitri by whatever you said, what would they say you are blinded by?
The bigger picture.
Can't see the trees for the forest.
We all have our weaknesses, even I, so. But mine are far less detrimental in the grand order of schemes.
And you expect my support or my pack's support?
Your support. You're the one I'm interested in. You're young, but you have, what's the phrase, a good head on your shoulder. You have not been corrupted by your ego like the rest of them. Sure, the other Sabbat members are powerful and they are old. But they are also lost, ready to be hoisted upon their own petard.
I'll think about it. But my pack is going to have questions if I push for supporting you without them having met you. How do you think I'm supposed to feasibly suggest you're the best choice if they don't think I've met you, if they haven't met you?
I will be sending an envoy to the meeting. We will be there in a capacity, but when the time comes, it'll be easy to know what the right choice is. But like I said before, there are many benefits. A haven where you won't be pulled out of. Power. I could teach you things. And I won't swear you to my blood like Viper would. I won't force you to commit atrocities like Simon. And I won't ask you to pledge your undying loyalty like Dimitri.
And what would you be asking?
Favor for a favor. Boons. It's how the world operates now. You continue to help me, and I continue to provide you with benefits.
So, transactional friendship.
Of course. It's how the lady operates.
I'll think about it. I'll judge it come the time. If you think there's anything else I should know in the meantime, I guess you know where to find me.
Of course. It was excellent to meet you, Evelyn.
And you, Gustav. And other not Gustav.
Oh, the lady can always hear what I'm thinking. This is our transactional purchases as well. And the man slumps over into a seat, almost looking like he passes out.
Has he still got hold of my arm?
No, he's let go.
Okay, good. I'm gonna kind of awkwardly then, as he sort of, sags, like step back and shake him off a little and sort of perform a little bit of disgustedness to the people who are around to be like, ugh, drunk guy, gross, and then sort of make for the door.
Arthur, you're waiting at the Uber when the door opens and Evelyn steps back in.
How was it?
Interesting. She's not there.
Okay.
Apparently she's dealing with some big business.
Right.
I obviously put the charm on and tried to find out what, and all he would tell me is she's seeing an old friend.
Oh, no.
Exactly. I do. The last time I spoke to her, she was desperate for information about where Addie was, and we know Addie's busy tonight in a public place, maybe, so it's a safe bet.
Yeah, that tracks. Oh, good.
I left a message anyway, so she'll pick it up when she gets back.
All right, not a problem. Storyteller, are there any extremely obvious sort of cami domain places in Philly that aren't the pen?
Ooh, like hangout areas or fortresses, type stuff, known bases.
Just any sort of areas where Kindred would probably go, okay, no, that's cami turf. Don't go in there.
Pretty much the Camarilla, they control the majority of Center City, so you're Rittenhouse Squares, the actual City Hall would be a good place. Basically the fancier that the city gets as it gets to the center, the more influenced by the Camarilla it is. Funny enough, being in South Philly, you're actually not even in Cami territory currently. You're technically in the territory of the Anarch Commons. Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, you would have to, the more north you would go in towards the center, the more of a Camarilla control would be.
Fantastic. Right. That would probably be my next suggestion, is we just go keep around doing this with various cami strongholds. Keep delivering the message. And then they'll have to do something about it.
I mean, yeah, keep delivering the message, or we could snoop and rile them up ourselves.
We could. That sounds a lot more fun, honestly.
Well, I was thinking that it might mean we can get you a sample. The sample that I got for, I got it because I wanted it, but the one that I left was kind of just traces rather than anything substantial, and I'm guessing you want a sample so you can try and figure out what they've done. So you're going to need something more substantial than that, right?
Oh, for sure. Supposedly I had someone on the inside working on it, but, I mean, he's either dead or he's going to be dead when I find out he's been ignoring me, so...
Oh, well, in that case, all the more reason to chase him up, right?
Exactly.
Punishment should be swift or something, I don't know.
For sure. I mean, luckily I do know where he lives, so we can totally start
great.
there.
Do we try there first?
Yes, I think we should. Right, slide back into the car, and we are going to be heading to Mars's address.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so you are kind of heading towards the same area, but you diverge a little bit. Instead of going straight north, you kind of west off to the east a little bit more as you enter into an area that you know as Fishtown. And kind of going, you arrive at a large painted blue building. Like, at one point it was like gray, probably beautiful, like stonework that is just kind of eroded. And in order to kind of cover up the damages and the wear and tear, they just painted over it this kind of garish, like bright blue color. Judging by the keys and little mailboxes, you see it's been turned into probably like a rentable property complex of some sort.
Sweet. I've been watching Miles for a while now because he is Touchstone. Was anyway. So I know what flat he's in.
Yep, it's on the 3rd floor. It's room 303.
Room 303. Cool. I think we sort of hang out by the door and like wait for someone else to go in, so that we don't have to be buzzed in or anything.
Oh, it doesn't have any like nearly as good a security as that. It's
cool.
Pretty much doors open, walk in.
Oh, great, even better. So very confidently stroll in, and make my way up to his apartment and knock.
And Evelyn is with you still, right?
Yep.
As you're a step going up another step, it's creaking, it's old. It looks like termites have done very well to the wooden structure, and you can hear a matter of things in this apartment. Some people watching TV, the walls are very thin. Other people participating in activity that is probably not appropriate for the stream. Someone getting into a fight and cursing. The loud banging of a hammer as someone is probably fixing something. Many morsels and many of the kind of living about their normal lives, whatever that may be. But eventually you do come to room 303. And you noticed that the door is slightly ajar. Not the door, it's slightly ajar now.
Words are hard. It's alright. Arthur pushes the door open.
Have you ever been in Miles' apartment?
Not inside it, no.
You smell cigarette smoke. You see that, like, it's basically a 1-bedroom flat. There's like a small kitchen that's been installed on the side that looks rough with like your basic white appliances that have been kind of stained by grease and stuff over time, not really thoroughly cleaned. A carpet that probably needs a very good power washing and vacuum. As you kind of even feel you can kind of feel the crunch as you step on it. A kind of, shoddily put together entertainment center that's slightly off to the side with a very nice 55 probably 65-inch TV, because that's generally how these things go. Really shitty apartment, nice TV, with a futon that is doesn't look like it can properly fold out anymore. His room is a mess of clothes, a mattress with a mound of sheets and blankets that doesn't have a bed frame. It's just sitting on the floor. And you notice that his drawers have been all pulled out and emptied onto the ground. Looking like something must have happened here.
Does this look like somebody who has had a break-in? Or does this look like somebody who's done a runner?
You're not.
I might be able to help, with my streetwise knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe, Arthur, if you want me to take a look and see what I can glean from snooping at the pattern.
By all means.
Go ahead and give me, because it's more of just like your instinct. Give me a wits plus streetwise then.
Okay.
I also have some streetwise, so I can help in this role.
Okay. Oof.
Oh no.
1 success.
Ugh.
I'm off my game. This place smells nasty.
It's gross. Yeah, that's fair.
You are looking, and you're trying to see, and you're not sure if you did a runner. All like you could see important stuff, like no bags of impact or anything. Your clothes don't seem to have been taken. Toothbrush is still in the bathroom. I won't even go into descriptions of the disgusting bathroom, because if an apartment's dirty, 9 times out of 10 the bathroom is like 10 times worse. But it doesn't look like he did a runner, and you're not sure if there's a break-in because the chain wasn't broken at the door. It looked, perhaps whatever happened, people were let in willingly. The only thing that you're really able to find that catches your eye, and it's not even evidence, is the fact that he has a book of, it looks to be like tags in them, like street tags. So it looks like at his point he's, practices graffiti whenever he can. Very amateur stuff by the looks of it, but you can appreciate the attempt.
Yeah, that I'm interested in. I take a little bit more time looking over those.
Cool. Arthur is going to be using Sense the Unseen to take a glance around this room and see if there's any elements of sorcery in the area or any sort of anything that we've not noticed yet.
Okay. As you're... Yep. Getting hungry?
That is a free one, so
awesome.
I will not be rolling for that one.
Awesome. So you're looking around, and you're not picking up any like sorcery, any sort of like funkiness, as it were. But I'll just give you this, even though it's not necessarily tied in. You can distinctly smell the kind of lingerings of Vitae.
Right. Okay. No worries. That was a crit on that roll, by the way.
Okay. So the extra
5 successes.
Awesome. So the extra thing that you would notice, kind of looking around and, like I said, etching in, kind of like because you probably take a few moments to examine every little bit of the room. You could see on the kind of door handle something you didn't notice before on the door frame. It looks like it's been roughly like scratched apart. And underneath the bed, you see the empty vial, or the little like kind of capsule that they would be giving blood plus in. That you notice, Evelyn, when Arthur brings it up.
Yeah, that looks familiar.
Yes. Okay. Well.
It looks dried out, like it hasn't been used in a hot second.
I'm pretty sure that Miles didn't exactly leave this area very often. So whoever he is dealing with, it's likely in the local vicinity. Fancy hitting the streets?
Always.
All right, let's do some sleuthing. And Arthur will lead the way out into the streets and begin sort of looking around for either Miles or like very obvious signs of shady dealers.
Yeah, both of you can give me either you can give me an intelligence or wits plus streetwise.
And whilst we're going, Arthur is sort of like going through the book of tags with Evelyn, and he'll be sort of trying to use his occult knowledge to point out if there are any tags that he's been drawing that are specifically kindred in nature.
If possible,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to use my graffiti specialism to look for signs of where he's been.
Yeah,
and if he's been tagging.
That would be that. That's a great use of that. Go ahead, add that extra die.
I have good news and I have bad news.
Oh god.
The good news is 7 success. 7 successes.
The
The
messy
bad
Oh.
news is it's messy.
There we go. There it is. It's a messy successy, is it, Lily?
No.
Is that what that is, Lily?
It's a messy success. Oh
It's
no!
a messy
We
successy,
can't do
Lily.
that. We can't.
I would like to petition that all messy criticals be renamed messy successy.
It's
Thank you.
honestly so Messy Successy is another fantastic podcast called Blood and Syrup, and they call them Messy Successies, and it haunts me constantly while I'm doing laundry and things because my partner loves it, and so he talks about it all the time. Okay, so if it's messy, do you... what's happening to me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you need me to roll for a random compulsion, or do you want to handle this a different way?
I'm going to I think
She says nervously.
To my entire life when you were running Sticks and Bones, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for compulsion, please.
Okay. Where are my roll tables? Okay.
I have it
that's
on me if you want to
Yeah, it's a 2 I got on the dice, so whatever the 2 is.
Awesome. You're actually, it makes a lot of sense. You're not sure whether it's the idea that there's this highly addicted like blood-based drug out there, or the fact that you're kind of on the hunt again for someone, or that you're kind of back in your natural element, as it were. But something in your mind, something in your nostrils that kind of sparks as you get hungry, but not necessarily in like the mechanical way, but you really want to feed on some blood right now.
Okay. Okay, hunger compulsion. I can handle that. That's okay.
Oh boy.
And yeah, I am a little bit hungry. I am peckish. I got hungry when I woke up this evening, and I kind of ignored it. And this is what I get. I get into this kind of area that I'm used to hunting in, and oh boy, does the urge to snack come up. You know, it's like walking into the kitchen and realizing that you've got something yummy on the stove. That's what's going on in my head right now. So yeah, I think maybe I'm getting a little bit distracted. So I'm seeing all of obviously I'm seeing everything in clarity. I know what's there, but I think now I'm starting to get a little bit distracted by the thought of following it to something good to eat instead of necessarily following it to Miles. I know, I think yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty, like, that's a pretty good way of putting it. And with the 7 successes though, not to downplay that at all.
Yeah.
You ask around and you look around, and you notice by kind of looking at the tags going, because you use that to initially canvas the area, kind of going to where he would hang out. Someone does, after enough shaking down, as it were, or enough awe or daunt, does relay that they saw someone Miles went with a couple other people to this one particular like nook, the street that is well known for, you know, doing certain activities, like indulging in those kind of vices.
Cool.
And that there is a lot of people. There's a decent amount of people there.
A good amount of people. That's good. That's good.
hors
Thank
d'oeuvres.
you for your help. And sort of like I'll grab Arthur's arm and steer him away and be like, look, if you think maybe you can handle this next bit, I've got to get just a little something to eat. I'm a little bit peckish. I'm feeling a little bit off my game, and I think if I concentrate too hard for too long, I'm going to tire myself out. You know, girls got needs.
You absolutely do that, but what I will say is if you can hang on shortly, I have an asset that has recently, in the last couple of hours, expired its use to me, so when we find it, you're more than welcome to, partake.
Oh, you are good to me, Arthur. Yeah, I think I can hold on just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Good. Right, shall we?
And as you leave, you look back at the person. They were alone. They're in an alleyway. They're they could be so delicious.
Evelyn has all the air of a badly trained puppy right now. She's hanging on to Arthur's arm, and she's going in that direction, but she's tugging. She's like,
oh, yeah. It's like that.
Yeah.
You can feel their apathy just sloughing off of them.
Arthur, we need to make this quick.
I know, dear, but put it this way. Fear is so much sweeter nectar than apathy. And we're about to encounter a smorgasbord of it.
There's something about that switches on in Evelyn's mind. I'm like, oh. And I immediately sort of switch senses. I'd like to activate my bloodhound ability and just sniff for fear as we're walking. Just so I know where it is.
Ooh.
I just really want to eat.
Sniffing for fear. Okay, that's it's weird, right? Because you would expect in a place like this, you probably get a lot of it.
Well, it's a standard difficulty 3 if I'm within range of it, so it might be more difficult than that. I don't know, because you said there's a lot of people around, didn't you?
There is a lot of people, and it's really hard to pick out individual. I'll say without having you roll, because I feel like this is just very obvious. There's, as you're getting closer to the area, you can smell an intense wafting of fear, but not necessarily coming from probably a single individual. Even that's how intense it feels.
Hey, Arthur.
It pierces.
You
through.
were right, and her head just snaps in that direction.
Lead the way, dear.
A much happier looking puppy now. I release his arm and just sort of almost skip in that direction, this way.
Arthur looks very much like a proud teacher. It's there she is, my girl off to destroy people. I love it.
And you can see as you guys kind of hone on to this alleyway, you see a back door to one of the kind of buildings. The whole metal back door on the stone 3-step approach to kind of not big muscular bodyguard looking types, but they do seem to be skittish, kind of providing watch almost as you are kind of peering into this alleyway.
I'm gonna lean into Arthur. Do we want them distracted or do we want them gone?
I think gone is probably the better option.
Roger that. I roll my shoulders and flex my fingers and activate Daunt.
Okay. Awesome. Amazing. And you're approaching them, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it is you're doing your badass walk, because that's how it is almost. You're every step a little bit heavier than the last, as you kind of come up with this intensity to you, and you're looking and you see the two people and they eye you suspiciously, looking up and down, but as the kind of daunt seems to take effect, they tear their eyes away, very much looking at the ground, and don't regard you, kind of hoping in your head that you're not going to get closer and closer, that you already have been.
I'm gonna stride literally right up to within about an inch of the closest one to us, lean towards his ear, and just hiss, "Fuck off."
Let me just double check one thing really quick. Actually, wait a minute, they can't really be able to do this. Second. See, read something. Okay, so the first person runs off completely. It's just like, yep, I'm fucking off. Bye. The other person, go ahead and give me. You can give me an manipulation. Yeah, plus intimidation plus your presence level.
Okay. With
Difficulty
the
at 2.
penalty because it's not a
Yes.
feed and I'm still under hunger compulsion, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. 3 successes.
Awesome. Yeah, you look, and this person for a second tries to kind of like, you have to, and
I feel like I just sort of snarl mid-sentence, like.
Are you still smelling the air intensely?
Oh yeah.
You can smell the kind of stinging sensation of urine as you can hear something trickle down this person's leg, and they look for a second at you, and then look, and they just take off.
I wait until he's made it out of the mouth of the alley, turn back to Arthur, drop Daunt, and just grin at him. Done!
Excellent work, my dear, as usual. And Arthur will stroll up, sort of readjust his coat, and go for the door handle.
So, Arthur, what do you, just to kind of gauge what do you expect to see when you open this door?
He has no idea. Frankly, he doesn't really care.
So as you adjust and open the door and it swings wide open, you see kind of like what looks to have been like maybe not like a storage space or or office spaces that have been long since abandoned. But you see it's mostly dark. You see the kind of bright orange work lights are from fluorescent bulbs are just like on with their little bit of humming, and you can tell by looking at it that this almost seems to be a makeshift shop of some sort, as there's just like tons of tools and like desks and everything's kind of like shifted around. On one end, you see a bed. And when I mean the bed, I mainly mean like just a simple mattress, no covers or anything, sitting. And on it, you can see Miles, who has been bound, handcuffed by his hands, and kind of tied up with like thick iron chains around his legs, and is almost being kind of hoisted up a little bit, attached to kind of what would be one of those like hooks.
Is he where the smell of fear is coming from?
Oh yeah, he is the fear.
Okay.
Obviously.
Evelyn, then, for your benefit, Arthur, just immediately there's like a low purr in the back of her throat and she just starts walking towards him.
He sort of puts a hand on your arm and is like, down, kitty. And then will move ahead a little bit to stand in front of Miles.
And you can see Miles is blindfolded. He has got several burns on him, like if someone were just putting out cigarette after cigarette after cigarette on him, like some sort of human ashtray. He's only wearing his jeans. His shirt has been discarded, it seems, and like his chest, which is like kind of got like the paleness, just like a multiple cigarette burns across.
Yeah, he will remove the blindfold. And,
Oh god. Oh. No, please stop. No. Arthur.
hello, dear.
Oh my god, I'm
Hi.
so glad to see you. And
Are you now?
please get me out of here.
What did you do?
He didn't repay his debts. That's what he didn't do. As you
Oh, good.
see
The
someone
boss is here.
walking out. At first you're like kind of intimidating because they're wearing like one of those welding masks, and then they like put it up, and you see this very like 5'3", maybe 5'2", a woman with kind of like a dark hair pulled into like a single braid, wearing like kind of like punk clothing, as it were, the whole leather jacket, very Bruja-ish, but not necessarily. dark lipstick and kind of like a scar around her eyes, as well as like kind of one of those double piercings on her eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Who would I be speaking to?
I'm Lena.
Hi, Lena. Lovely to meet you. I see that you've picked up one of my pets.
Oh yeah, I figured he was going to someone. So you're like, and she kind of leans in. You're like the real deal, right?
The real deal of what, sweetheart?
Like a vampire.
Oh, that's a fun word. Where'd you learn that?
Oh, I mean, I figured that's what happened to us.
Really?
Yeah. I've been looking for y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was really interested when Miles was telling me that he didn't want to buy from anymore. But he still didn't want to pay his debt. So I have to do the whole scary thing and all that. But I figured that he got the source from somewhere else. I mean, I'm not technically a full-fledged vamp, as it were. I think they call us like halfies or whatever. But But yeah, she kind of leans in. She's like, do you have fangs and everything too?
He like reaches out and grabs her by the neck and keeps her away from him. And he says, now, dear.
Oh, this is a fun game. I like this one.
We won't be playing by your rules today. No. Now, let's reel back this conversation, shall we? How long have you been like this?
Oh, a couple years.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
My, basically a veteran.
I mean, I guess. I don't really get to call the shots, as it were. I just get to do this stuff, and it's really fun. I like burning people.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Do you now? You've had much introduction to fire, then, have you?
Yeah. It's kind of used to be my specialty. Still really is. As you can see, yeah, he makes really good, you see that skin? Because he's a little bit more paler and everything, the marks, they show up so much more intensely on it. It's like art.
Interesting. See, Evelyn, this is what I was telling you about earlier. One of those among us who perhaps have had a little bit of a diluted dose, shall we say? So this is a learning opportunity, isn't it? What do we do in these nights if we want to survive, Evelyn?
Well, for one, we're careful about running our mouths. We're careful about
Exactly.
treading on other people's territory.
That we are, aren't we? And we also make sure that we're afraid of the right people. Isn't that right?
Lena kind of
With that
looks at
cue,
you.
Evelyn flashes a bigger grin and flips Daunt back on.
Alright, give me another intimidate plus manipulation, adding your presence. Your difficulty is going to be 3 this time.
Okay. Manipulation, intimidation, did you say?
Yep, and then you can add your presence.
Okay.
As you can tell, something's just not right about Lena.
Yeah, 2 successes. So I imagine she doesn't shy away, and that kind of throws me off a bit.
She looks and kind of returns your grin with her own and goes, "You're so cool. How do I get to do that?"
You're not right, are you, love?
Can you teach me? Honestly, I've been looking to move up and leave this shit show for a while, and if what Miles has said has been any indication, because he's a talker, obviously they always are. And the whole threatening thing is cool and all, and yeah, you could kill me. I mean, it's 2-on-1, whatever. That really wouldn't further your plans, really.
Oh, darling! No! You get me all wrong. I'm not here to kill you. No, not at all.
Oh, awesome!
Nothing so pedestrian, dear.
Are you here to recruit me?
Perhaps. Wouldn't that be fun? Would you like to be recruited?
Yes. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Well, you're not the side that tries to kill us, do you? Because those bureaucratic people, what do they call the Camarilla? Yeah, we've heard of them. My boss
You've
talks
heard of
about.
them.
Yeah, they're assholes. We've been giving them the slip for years. It's been great.
Really?
Yeah.
And your boss, who are they? Direct supervision? Is it more of an MLM thing?
I guess it kind of starts on one. We're not really a pyramid scheme, as it were. We're just a group of people that are we're in the same circumstances, and we, wanted to shake things up a bit. Shake up the status quo. They don't want us giving our blood out, so we say, "Fuck it, let's do it anyway." You're looking for Bruce, though.
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce and Kenzie.
Bruce and Kenzie.
Yeah.
That's a little on the nose, isn't it?
No. I mean, I think they have other names, maybe, perhaps.
While she's talking, I'm texting Evelyn, and I just text her, get a picture of her face. And keep her focused on me whilst this is happening.
I'm gonna, just as that exchange is happening, with that vibration in my pocket, it's like it's taking me a lot to concentrate, and I'm just gonna, sorry if it's Arthur, just a little bit, just so I can focus a bit better. Is that okay? And look over at Miles. Thank you. Then I'm gonna head
enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, Lena, this transaction, this recruitment, you see, nothing's for free, especially not in the circumstances in which we find ourselves. I'm sure you can appreciate that.
Oh, did you want a free sample or whatever? Is that what you want?
Yes, I did, but not just that. I want my pet back.
Oh. Well, I guess he's paid off some of his debt.
Oh, trust me, he's got another debt to repay.
Okay. Well, if he doesn't pay the money, I kind of have to come back and put more burns on him. Every burn is $1.
Oh, I see. Right. Yes. The payment that I'm going to have him make will leave him incapable of making any further transactions.
Oh, you're gonna kill him.
Potentially. I'll see how I feel.
Oh, that would be okay. Well, it still owes. He kind of still owes us a couple hundred.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can get my burns in really quick. It might take me a little bit, but
go for it. You feel free, darling. But before that, I will take that sampler.
Oh, of course.
Yes, thank you. Great.
I've never seen how it works on your kind before, your full kind, as it were. And she kind of pops out one with the vials and gives it to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And would you say this is a storage area for you?
No, this is just where I bring people that don't pay.
Okay. Well, feel free to deal out your due diligence or whatever it is you like to do.
So what I'm sorry, it's like meeting a big superstar. What group do you? You're not those cam people, are you?
I'm a free agent, darling.
Oh, are you what are they called? The anarchists?
No. I'm far from a pretender, unlike those who deign to call themselves revolutionaries whilst really they're just trailing along behind daddy's skirts.
Yeah, they're kind of boring as well. They don't really do anything. One's got too many rules and one's covered. I need the because ever since I got this way, kind of my stuff that I've already to do kind of enhanced a bit. So I don't know.
Well, shoo, go have fun. Why are you still talking to me? Go.
Okay. And where's Evelyn at this point?
Evelyn is at Miles's side, and as they've been talking, since Lena said about the one burn is $1, Evelyn's been just almost dot to dot over Miles's arms, just taking it in as she's listening to the conversation. And as that conversation winds to a close, she wants to take just a single dot of blood from Miles. Not too much. Just something to take the edge off this gnawing urge she has to feed.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of comes as a welcome to Miles, who kind of, for just a moment, is able to retreat into a temporary bliss. And then, yeah, you taste that fear. Particularly, let me just double check. Yeah, you taste that that melancholy resonance as just you sips into you. Just let me go. Are you gonna let me go? I don't want to die.
I can't speak for that, I'm afraid. Not my business. And Evelyn's gonna just, withdraw.
And Lena comes back. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
And she begins, like, you could see she has like, a pack of cigarettes down, and she lights one up, and just kind of with like sadistic glee, she presses it hard into the abdomen, one of the free spots, and Miles like winces for a second, and as she's doing that, she kind of goes and like once it's put out, she relights it and just does another one as she's looking over to you. So you came looking for blood plus.
Of course. We are intrigued as to the operation you're running here, and really about what more you can do. I hesitate to say that ones as smart as yourselves have stopped at blood plus. Come on, you've got something more up your sleeves, haven't you?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, even Bruce and Kenzie won't tell me. I mean, and they're not even the top dogs, as it were. But unfortunately, I don't know anyone above that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all thin bloods, right? That's the term you use. I like halfies. I think that's cooler.
Duskborn. It's another fun one.
That's awesome. I like that. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that, shall we? So, your own studies, Lena, your own pursuits. What have you been pursuing?
Well, I'm particularly they say I'm really intimidating.
Really?
Yeah. And I can get hit a lot. But that's about it. I don't have the cool stuff that the others. They're really good in science and stuff like that, but I'm not, that's not really me. I'm not like a book nerd or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is intriguing. And Arthur will jot down one of the numbers of the burner phones that he and Quinn sort of pass between each other and hand it over to her and say, hand that number over to one of your more scientifically minded friends, because I think I know someone who might be able to help them reach new heights, as it were.
Can you turn us into full vampires?
Oh, now that's a dangerous question, and we will have to get much more closely acquainted before I answer.
I'll leave with you right now if you do that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I fuck this place. Like, it's cool and all, but I could live a cooler existence. Yeah, let's go do that. Like, being a vampire must be so cool, right? And she like looks at you, Evelyn. Like, cool as shit. Look at you.
Yeah, there's some cool things and some not cool. Do you smoke those, by the way, or are they just for fun?
Oh no, those will kill you.
Yeah, probably.
as evident, and then just right between, like, on the forehead, and particularly painful screech.
Yeah, I am. There's some things to miss about, other not being this. I mean, what changes have you noticed? From one newbie to another, so to speak.
I mean, I know some of the others can eat. I can't eat. I can drink still, but I can't eat. Throw it up. So I just drink and occasionally take some little snacks here and there from people.
And daylight bother you at all?
Makes me a little uncomfortable, but if I really think about it, I can go out for a little bit.
I shoot Arthur a very quick glance. Oh, that is kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, maybe in the long run, I can't speak for, my friends. I'm like you, I'm not really the guy in charge here, but...
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, from one lackey to another, I guess. Not to call
But I mean, my boss is cool.
Is that your boss?
Oh, no, he's colleague? Do we say colleague?
I think we
Coworker?
can call each other friends.
Co-conspirator?
Oh, that's
I think we
nice.
can call each other friends, Evelyn. Goodness gracious, what is this? Fucking gentleman's club in the 18th century?
Are we
Honestly,
friends?
colleagues. We could.
I think we're getting that way,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that'd be great. You're so much more nicer than the other people.
Oh,
We are.
Oh yeah, they've talked about if they ever see us again, they'll kill us.
blah, blah, blah,
Blah,
yes.
blah, blah. We're a blight on
Bullshit.
humanity, blah, blah, blah. End times, blah, blah, blah. Book of Nod, blah, blah, blah. When the blood runs thin, blah, blah, blah.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, you think you're getting into this really cool thing, and it actually
Yeah.
turns out to be kind of culty, and they're a bit weird about it, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I like cults. Cults are cool. I'm down with cults. Just that they, they're cool with me.
Oh, then you've got to see Arthur's bookshop. You'd love it. There's so
What?
many old weird
Where's your
books in there about all
bookshop?
sorts of weird stuff.
Oh, someone said, wait, are you the bookshop in Kensington?
Maybe.
Everyone said, when we picked up Miles, he was heading there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
One at a time,
Adorable. Yeah, cute. You know what? I've made my mind up. I like you. I think we are going to go on a little drive, and we
Yes.
are going to take you somewhere that can sort you out with maybe a little upgrade, darling.
That would be amazing.
Great, fantastic.
What
But for now,
and points to Miles, what about him?
have you paid the? Have you done all your little jabby jibs?
He's got about 200 more left, but like that can wait for another day.
Can you wave it? Cool. Evelyn, darling, are you feeling continually peckish?
No, I think I'm full enough.
Okay, well, in that case, allow me. And then Arthur will go over to Miles and sort of lower him down off of the hook thing.
What the fuck?
Hello, dear.
You didn't come to rescue me?
I don't know. I've not decided yet.
I thought you
Give
were like
me-
a family friend.
No. I have never been a friend to your family, darling. I was so much more to one of your ancestors. And ever since then, I have been forced to watch as your bloodline languish away his gifts and everything he worked for, and you waste it on bullshit like this. And you know what? No. Give me one reason why I should let you live.
Because I was gonna leave this place before you fucking grabbed me and forced me to come as your errand boy and stuff like that. At least
That's
you-
not a good reason. Why are you useful?
What? I don't know. I led you here, right? You found it. You wanted to know about the drugs here. You've met one of the dealers. Oh, so you were ratting us the whole time. I knew it, Miles. I knew it. You son of a bitch.
Isn't he just? You know what, Miles? I think it better if all this bullshit just ended with you.
No.
Good night. And he is going to sink his teeth into Miles's neck and drain him dry.
Murdering one of your touchstones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And as it happens, Lena like claps. And she looks at you and she goes, "We should join in. Right? There's enough blood for all of us."
Do I don't really know anything about Miles, do I? Outside of that, he's just someone. Yeah, okay.
You appreciated his amateur understanding of the graffiti arts. That's about it.
Yeah, that was good, and he tasted okay. But Evelyn's she's gonna like firmly take Lena's arm and shake her head and say, "No, this feels like it needs to be a him thing.
Okay,
I'll find you something else."
that's fine. I'm not really that hungry anyway. I just do it for the fun.
That's much better.
As you
sort of
see-
drops the corpse.
Yeah, Miles plops to the floor. What's left of Miles anyway. This kind of like a horrible look on their face, screaming in agony as it's messy. You're messy. You got like the front, you're just covered, You really let yourself go on that one.
Right. Well, shit. Fine. You don't have another spare shirt back there, do you?
I mean, I got Miles' old shirt, if you want that.
Oh, that'll do. Whatever. He just sort of very, very casually shrugs the coat off, throws it onto the corpse, unbuttons the shirt, throws it onto the corpse as well, and just takes up this, like, torn band rocker t-shirt.
Yeah, and just...
Yeah, and, like, I think what's the most amusing sort of thing about this is that Arthur is very much not a bad-looking guy. He died when he was 25, and he went through pretty much, like, military-style training before he died as well. So he just kind of looks like someone who's maybe a couple of years out of university, body-wise, instead of this sort of slightly frazzled librarian. But then he sort of puts on this band rocker t-shirt. He just kind of looks like a architecture student who has, you know, like, stayed overnight at a metal concert.
So your charisma's 2. You could rock it. You're rocking
Yeah,
it.
for sure. It's making it work. He's making it work. But it definitely doesn't look like him anymore.
Do you still have your coat on over the shirt?
No, because it's bloody and gross, so he just throws it onto the corpse. Just gonna leave it there. Alright, Lena, we have somewhere to be then, I believe.
Of course. How'd you get here?
Great. We took an Uber.
We can take my car.
Sure, sounds good.
And as you go out to this little, like, black Dodge Dart, she opens up and, like, the car's kind of a mess. Not, like, dirty. It just has, like, it looks like clothing has been stuck in the back. It looks like that she's been partially living out of this for a little bit.
Okay. Arthur would like to direct her to the pen.
Okay.
And we're going to park a street or so away. He's going to have her get out, and then he's just going to say to her, okay, so you're going to go into the penitentiary over there, and I would like you to ask for Madame Toldeska, and she can help you from there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Great.
I want you to go give me a manipulation plus subterfuge. Or yeah, I think that would be that, or even the
Subterfuge
performance.
works fine for me.
Yeah, subterfuge.
Oh, and it's so nice to not have any hunger dice. This is so good. My god, why don't I do this more often, you know what I mean? Alright. Yeah, 7 successes.
She goes, okay. And Madame
That was
Tedesca is one of y'all's friends?
Yes, she's very much like me.
Alright.
And when you see her, just say, there are many pieces on this board besides the tower.
Okie dokie. And she kind of gets out. Evelyn, you can very much tell that Arthur is sending this girl to her death. Did you just keep quiet?
I'm a little confused about what's going on, but I am also much newer to this than Arthur is, and I definitely trust him, so I'm not intervening or anything. Like, he would probably recognize that I look a little alarmed, but that's the most.
Cool. We will leave her car there. Arthur will get another Uber, and we will depart back to the bookshop. Sort of on the drive, he sort of leans back in his seat and says, so, any questions, Evelyn?
Yeah, one. What was that?
Which part of it?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bud. You had me going for a minute there. I really did think you were gonna bring her home and raise her like a little lost puppy. What, you, wow.
I look about me, don't I?
You do. I feel like I should be worried about me, you know, but...
Well, put it this way, you're not a sign of the end times, so... You're a lot safer. Now, that little fiasco was a great way for us to drop the Thin Bloods directly into the lap of some very nervous members of my clan. And they are going to go absolutely buck wild trying to chase that little doggy's tail wherever it may lead.
Arthur?
Mm.
You left your shirt back there, right?
Yeah.
You're not worried that they're gonna come after us?
Probably me.
Okay. This is I mean, it's fun. It's fun. You are so calm about all of this. It's kind of weird.
Yes. You see, after your first few decades, emotions aren't quite what they used to be. And you know when, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you've taken a hit of something in your past at some point. Maybe something a little harder than the average cigarette. Something a little more tricky than alcohol.
There was like one time at a party, but...
There always is. The point being, if you get enough of that same hit, it gets boring. You have to keep looking for bigger and better drugs to get that same high.
Speaking of that vial, that's good, right?
Oh yeah.
What do you make of it?
I'm very intrigued. You see, whilst they may be, you know, tiny little irritating peons that run around it with some sort of weird idea that they mean anything to the world, they do have some interesting research below their belts that I would very much like to find out about.
Mm-hmm.
And this in particular, use of Vitae in order to impact mortal brains. Very intriguing.
Think about what all these pieces mean, what all these moving stratagems are, leading one person to death and turning one side over on the another. You return to King's Highway Books, and you see Quinn has been closing up the shop. I don't know if Evelyn, you go inside or you just depart from there. But Quinn has a note for you, Arthur.
Fun. We'll go in and take it from him.
It was from a Father Perez.
Oh, good.
Said he couldn't call because he's physically unable to.
He has a BlackBerry still. It just he insists that it still works, and just don't even go there.
And you can see on the note that it says the time of the Four Swords has been set. The meeting place will not be in Death's headquarters, but rather across the river Eve.
Huh.
Speak to the captain in order to get the specific location. Bring your A game because several feral dogs are set amongst each other.
Arthur will sort of read the note and look over at Evelyn and just say, "We've been invited to the ball."
Huh. Should be fun.
Should indeed.
And with that, I think this is the perfect place amongst the lamentations of Quinn, who is not sure what exactly is going on, as he inquisitively asked you, did you find the young Fletcher?
I did, yes.
Everything all right?
Perfectly.
And nods. And we kind of pull the camera out, overlooking everything as we see the states of everything. We see Arthur probably grinning to himself very nicely. We see Evelyn probably a little bit confused about everything that's happened, kind of pulled every which way the young fledgling is. We see Adrestia resetting her nose as from her injuries, and as she's kind of in her haven, what happens next. And we see Amari overlooking the huge map of Philadelphia, placing several pins into it. As the next chapter, the finale dawns. Next time on Cradle of Caine. And because we didn't get to do proper introductions, please can you introduce yourselves and tell them where they can find you and any other projects you would like to plug, please. Going in the usual order, but there's only two of us, so...
Usually it's kind of difficult in these sorts of situations. But yeah, hi everyone, hello. Scary Story's over, it's me now, I'm nice. My name is Gabriel, or @GoonChaotic. You can find me on Twitter and TikTok and different places. And a lot of the time on Twitch, kind of appearing on other people's channels, just like a goblin that's sort of crawled out from the trash, and I'm here, and I'm excited. I'm usually over on Adventure Tavern doing various things and stuff. Recently, my most recent work, Vesson, has gone up on there and is on the YouTube channel for perusal if you would like to have a looky there. There will be many more cool projects coming up in the new year, including something for Check D's Out. So if you have not taken a gander over on that channel, go for it. Otherwise, keep an eye on my Twitter, and I will usually be screaming about various nonsense there.
Hi guys, I am Lily. You can find me at Lily the GM on Twitter or Twitch. I am usually lurking whatever games Gabriel is running or playing in, so you can find me wherever you can find him usually. Otherwise, I am also doing work with Adventure Tavern, so please do go check them out, either on Twitter or on Twitch. And I have some other projects coming up too, hopefully. I will keep you informed if you go look up my stuff. Thanks.
And I today, having a blast, was your storyteller, Nick Francia. You can find me at Nobleman Nick. Other streaming stuff I do, you can find me on Sundays playing Exalted 3rd Edition plus Essence over on Devil's Luck Gaming, as well as playing Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War over in Carrying Comfort Studios, and probably a few other projects that I have yet to announce that are awesome in the works. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And next time, we end Season 1 with a hell of a finale. Bye.
Scars on me, globe in my palm as it falls.